Hello, good citizens. Welcome to my new series documenting and exposing Nanaimo RCMP. This is part 1.
I even showed him in the gas tank that you can see right through to the ground.
Right.
He didn't believe it was on after bicycle.
Huh?
Oh, they should really clarify the rules. I'm like, oh, they seem pretty clear to me.
Yeah.
500 watt motor goes 30 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
I can go to Duncan and back on 30 cents.
Huh?
Boom.
Here we go.
A few minutes later, he comes out.
Hey, Chief.
And,
Hey.
Today, sir.
Good. How can I improve your day?
How can you improve my day?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Ah.
I'm Staff Sergeant Tetreault with the RCMP.
Oh.
We got a call from one of our staff about what you're doing here.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything I can do for you?
No.
Questions I can answer for you.
No.
does
I don't think so.
staff never know it's illegal to film in public?
Yeah, but they have a concern, right? There's
Okay.
privacy concerns surrounding it. There's security concerns surrounding the police office. So
Yeah.
we make sure that we know what's going on.
Yeah.
It is legal to film on a public place. It's a public building.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do whatever you like.
Yeah.
Right? Within the boundaries of the law.
Did you allay their concerns?
Well, I have to gather information first, right? That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so you will go and allay their concerns.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Just let them know we're
Part of my job, right?
just let them know we're here today we're just visiting the laziest RCMP detachment in all of Canada.
All right, guess what the vacation week this week?
No. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Can I see it?
Sergeant Darwin Tetreault,
Can I see it?
right?
Can I see your ID?
No, I don't have
Can,
my ID
can,
with
can,
me.
can I get your ID real quick?
Well, I can. I'll provide it to you if
Okay.
that's what you like, but I'd like yours.
No. Zero chance.
Why is that?
For what crime?
Well, I'm going to detain you
Okay.
for police obstruction
Yeah.
because I'm conducting an investigation as to what you're doing. So I'm detaining you. So you're going to come with me. You're in police detention.
So you remember that time in 2018 where I got falsely arrested by West Shore RCMP? They seized 4 of my cameras. They charged me with criminal offenses. And I actually got criminally prosecuted for this. I had to wait almost 2 years to go to trial and then get my property back. This new series is going to be pretty similar to that, but definitely not the same. So for me, I live in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, and this happened in Nanaimo, British Columbia, Canada. It's about an hour and a half drive away from where I live. Now, normally I wouldn't drive an hour and a half to go do some protesting or auditing, but as you may recall, when I got arrested and charged by West Shore RCMP for recording on a public sidewalk, the local Crown Prosecutor's office couldn't take the case because I'm a conflict of interest with their office due to my previous videos about them and my YouTube channel. So they had to send it up to the next jurisdiction, which is up in Nanaimo, where it fell across the lap of a prosecutor named Nicholas Barber, who read all kinds of bullshit about me and lies about me from the police, who've been colluding against me for years. And upon reading this nonsense, he decided to approve the malicious charges. At trial, I had such an effective defense and I was doing so well that the prosecutor got so mad when we took the afternoon break, the judge left the courtroom and the prosecutor, Nicholas Barber, tried to start a fight with me right there in the courtroom in front of all the sheriffs and the court clerk and an independent witness. So when we left the courtroom, Mr. Barber ambushed me and he told me that if I didn't want to listen to him and I didn't want to learn, that he was going to follow me home. And he actually repeated this threat that he was going to follow me home. Not only did he say this twice, but he also said it twice in front of an independent witness and a sheriff. You may remember one of my followers, Kevin, made an official complaint to the Law Society of British Columbia about Nicholas Barber threatening to follow me home. The results of that complaint were that, according to the Law Society of British Columbia, Francis Gropper, a prosecutor threatening to follow an unrepresented accused person home isn't intimidating, threatening, or harassing. So they refused to investigate the complaint. And Crown Prosecutor Nicholas Barber got off the hook scot-free for intimidating, harassing, and threatening an unrepresented accused person. Nice, eh? So, because of this, I regularly drive up to the Nanaimo Courthouse and protest with my protest sign that says, Crown Prosecutor Nicholas Barber threatened to follow me home. Guess how they handled the complaint? It's all on YouTube! And the first time I did this, I got attacked by a butthurt Karen lawyer who made a false report to the BC sheriffs, who then attacked me, who then made false reports to the Nanaimo RCMP, who then showed up and kicked me off the sidewalk and out of the street. The next day, I filed a police report with the Nanaimo RCMP, trying to tell them that the lawyer, Peter Hertzberg, filed a false police report with them, which is actually a crime in Canada called public mischief, according to Section 140 of the Criminal Code of Canada. And in talking to the Nanaimo RCMP, Sergeant Egan, he told me that they were refusing to investigate this crime. Absolutely flat out refused to investigate this crime. So I said, okay, fine, have it your way, Burger King. I'm going to post all this on my YouTube channel. Good luck with all the phone calls you get. And Sergeant Egan of the Nanaimo RCMP was totally fine with that. So after that phone call, I left the Nanaimo RCMP a Google review saying that they were the laziest RCMP detachment in all of Canada. Speaking of which, have you seen the Nanaimo RCMP Facebook page lately? If you got a sec, go have a look. So anyways, in July of 2024, I went to the Nanaimo Courthouse to do my usual regular protest, and I was accompanied by a good friend of mine and follower, John Tuffy. The protest at the courthouse went without incident, and then we later moved on to the Nanaimo RCMP detachment to do some video recording. Shortly after we arrived, we were approached by Staff Sergeant Darwin Tetreault, who inquired about what we were doing and told us that there was privacy concerns and safety concerns for the people that work at the RCMP detachment there. So I says to the staff sergeant, I says, hey, just let them know we're just here today to visit the laziest RCMP detachment in all of Canada. Now, some people might think, well, you're just a smart ass. You're just a jerk. Why would you say that? That's so rude. Well, maybe, but it's also true, according to me. That's my experience with them. That's my thought, opinion, and belief based on experience with them. So why wouldn't I say that? One of the reasons why I say things like this when I do these types of videos isn't just to be a jerk or to be a smartass. It's to spark a conversation. Because the reason why I said that to the staff sergeant, or I would have said it to anyone that came out, is to spark a conversation. So what a normal human being would do when they hear someone say that is they would reply in a way maybe like this. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you say that. Could you explain why you think that? Something like that, right? That's what a normal human being would say. Instead, the staff sergeant, Darwin Tetreault, demanded my ID. And then I demanded his. So we played the demanding ID game for a moment, which didn't last very long as the staff sergeant, Darwin Tetreault, became oppressive, took a step forward towards me, and told me that he was going to detain me for police obstruction. So I took a step back. He took another step forward. He grabs my bicep of my right arm, pulls it forward towards him, takes my hand. Thankfully, I'm wearing skeleton gloves, so even the stupid people that commented on the preview video can figure out how pain compliance works. You see my thumb sticking up in the air? Watch as he twists it. My hand and my wrist. So my thumb is now pointing down. And then he rapidly twists my wrist and arm behind me. This is a pain compliance technique for those of you that don't know or aren't smart enough to spot it on your own. Now this is kind of odd because if you remember the video of me getting arrested in 2018 at West Shore RCMP for doing the exact same thing, they didn't even handcuff me. What's even worse is I only weigh like 160 pounds. Staff Sergeant Darwin Tetreault must weigh like more than double my weight. So do you think a guy who weighs more than double than me and is armed with multiple weapons has the authority to use them? Do you really think pain compliance techniques is where he should start out with? Like a normal human being police officer might say something like, turn around and put your hands behind your back, you're under arrest. Or would you mind just turning around so I could put handcuffs on you for officer safety? Something like that. That's what a normal human being police officer would do. A normal human being police officer wouldn't start with pain compliance techniques on a peaceful person. So unfortunately, this GoPro footage right now is the only footage that I have. There was a body cam that I was wearing that the Staff Sergeant Darwin Tetreault seized, which I don't have in my possession yet, but I'll come back to that later. So this GoPro footage isn't the best angle, but you can see clearly in the video where my hand goes from one position to about a 180 twist. And this is, as I said, this is a pain compliance technique. This is what you're supposed to use on people who are violent, threatening, and resisting arrest. Here, let's have a look here. For all the stupid people that don't know what pain compliance techniques are, don't know what they look like, can't recognize it when they see it on an actual video. Here, I'll slow it down for the stupid people. Here we go. Here, look. Best way I can explain it. Imagine I was holding a cup of water or a cup of coffee. Now watch the glove. And where do you think the cup of whatever is going to go? Sploosh. Yeah, it's going to get dumped out at our feet. What you're looking at is a straight up assault. So most normal human beings, especially peaceful ones like me, when someone just applies a pain compliance technique out of the blue for no reason, for no good reason whatsoever, unlawfully and illegally, you might say, ow, because it's a pain compliance technique, right? So you might say, ow. And as the pain compliance is intensified, you might say, ow, 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 ow. And as it intensifies even more, you might say, ow, ow, because you're in pain, right? Because that means that the pain compliance technique is working, right? Anyways, I'm yelling, I'm screaming, ow, because I'm in pain, right? Isn't that what normal human beings do when someone illegally and unlawfully puts them through pain compliance techniques? Yeah, they yell, ow, 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 because they're in pain, pain, pain. Duh. Now, if he would have just asked me to turn around and place my hands behind my back, I certainly would have done that. I'm pretty sure this isn't Staff Sergeant Darwin Tetreault's first time in arresting a person, so I'm pretty sure he knew what he was doing. So, I'm handcuffed and led away. I've dropped the GoPro on a stick involuntarily. Luckily, John Tuffy's there to pick it up, is able to further document my kidnapping. Notice how I went from screaming in pain to yelling for help? So thankfully, they decided to take a break from the pain compliance techniques, knowing that they're on camera. But you're now watching a man get kidnapped by the government in a free democratic society by two men loaded with weapons whose combined weight is probably 3 times my weight. One guy commented in the preview video, he says, we could do without the ninny screaming. And I thought, no, actually, we could do without the tyrannical torture. I love these comments because it really demonstrates how stupid people are. They can't even see right or wrong when it's right in front of them on video. And they blame the victim. Anyways, yelling for help is a normal human response. That's what a normal human does when they're kidnapped by people with weapons for no lawful purpose, for illegal purposes, for improper purposes, made in bad faith. Policeman's powers only exist to protect the public, himself, and enforce the law. Police officers' actions are supposed to be in pursuit of justice. So when you see this video, are these police officers in pursuit of justice? Is this justice what you're watching right here? So they take me away and into the detachment. I've been arrested a bunch of times, never for anything legitimate, but I've been arrested a bunch of times. And when I'm brought into these booking area kind of places, I'm always told to sit down on a bench. And when they brought me in, I went to go sit down on a bench. And these 2 cops grabbed me, said, "Get over here." And I was like, okay, I was just going to sit down. And they threw me, slammed me, chest first, stomach first, into a counter and forehead first, face first, into a plexiglass barrier. And they held me there like they had just caught like an escaped convict or somebody robbing a bank. But no such luck, guys. It was just a guy trying to sit down on a bench. Good work, guys. So of course, I don't have video of that, but that's going to be captured on their detachment cameras. You'll be able to hear and see what's going on in that video when I get a copy of that from them. And then they continue with the pain compliance technique there, trying to get the handcuffs off, you know? You know how they do that? Twist your wrist, twist your hand, twist your arm. And Staff Sergeant Tay-trow asked me numerous times, "Are you going to ID yourself?" And I would ask him for what crime. And he'd say, "Obstruction." And I'd say, "You're fucking stupid." So I'm led away to a jail cell, and I sat there for a long time, and I was thinking, they're just going to have to take my fingerprints, and that's how they're going to identify me. And after thinking about it for a while, I thought, well, after what this guy just put me through, do I really want him handling my fingers? Hell the fuck no! So I said, screw it, I'll just identify myself when he comes back. Give him what he wants. I've made my point. I do not want to identify. That's pretty clear, right? So after sitting in a jail cell for about 45 minutes, he comes back and I identify myself. And then about 45 minutes after that, he comes back. He brings me back to the booking area, and I tell him my left wrist is sore, my forehead is sore, and my right arm's sore, or something like that. And he goes, "Oh, I suggest you go to the hospital." So I had to sign a promise to appear for a criminal charge of obstruction, and I had a court date. Then he tells me he's seizing my body camera. Then he makes fun of my YouTube channel. He says I only get like 334 views on my last video. And then he starts saying how this whole thing with me and my YouTube channel, because this is my shtick, right? Because that's your shtick, right? And he was quite upset, so I didn't want to say this, but I almost said it. I was going to say, what about falsely arresting people? That's your shtick, right? Because that's your shtick, right? And so shortly after that, I was released. I spent an hour and a half in that jail cell, and I was detained for another 15 minutes prior to that. So about an hour and 45 minutes was my loss of liberty. Shortly after that, I sent the video to the Democracy Fund, and they responded promptly, offering me representation through their generous donors. And after a brief online meeting, I signed their paperwork and retained them as my criminal defense lawyers. And before I even had to go to court, my lawyer, Adam, spoke with Crown prosecutors. And not only did Adam get my obstruction charge dropped, he also got 2 more trumped up charges dropped too, which were mischief and municipal corruption. So that's it. It's over. The malicious prosecution has sunk. But it's not over. Want to see what happens next? So who is Staff Sergeant Darwin Tetreault anyways? You're going to find out. And you're going to see what action I took next. It's all coming up sometime soon in part 2. Thanks for watching.